She was just skin and bones when I found her in the cold silence of deep space. The mining ship Atlas 9 floated like a forgotten ghost. On board, only one human remained, Commander Ray Holden. The rest of the crew had left weeks ago. His job was simple: maintain the power systems and wait for the next crew rotation. Every day felt the same. Cold, dark, and empty. But one morning, everything changed. Ray was outside the ship, checking damage near Dock Bay 3. A small meteor shower had passed by the night before, and protocol required inspection. As he moved slowly in his EVA suit, something caught his eye near the outer wall. At first, he thought it was space debris, maybe a damaged drone. But as he moved closer, his heart skipped a beat. It was a body, thin, almost skeletal, curled into a ball. Its skin was a pale blue, like frostbite. No suit, no helmet, just lying there, barely moving. "Command log," Ray spoke into his mic. "Unidentified life form discovered. Possibly dead, returning to airlock." He knew he shouldn't bring it inside. The rules were clear. Unknown biologicals must be reported, quarantined, or destroyed. But something about her made him stop. Yes, her. The shape, the eyes, the weak breath. It was female. Alien, yes, but her face. It looked almost human, sad, lost, and afraid. Ray made a decision. He carried her back, placed her in the med bay, and sealed the door. Inside the medical chamber, the scanners began their work. Her vitals were weak, barely a pulse. Body temperature dangerously low. Several deep cuts across her ribs and arms. She wasn't wearing anything, but a thin layer of transparent membrane covered her skin, like armor. He started emergency life support. Warm fluid through 4 oxygen. And some healing agents. The ship's IA spoke. Unknown species. No match in records. Genetic structure unstable. Ray didn't care. She was alive. Barely. Hours passed. She didn't wake up. Just lay there, breathing slowly. Her chest moved, up and down like a child in sleep. Ray watched from behind the glass. Something about her made him uneasy. Not fear, something else. Curiosity. He studied her face. The sharp cheekbones, the long fingers. Her skin looked cracked, like dried paint. Bones pushed against the skin. Like she hadn't eaten in weeks. Just skin and bones, he whispered. "What the hell happened to you?" Later that night, he reviewed the exterior cameras. That's when he saw it. A broken escape pod, floating near Dock Bay 3. No signal, no ID, no history. Like it came out of nowhere. He magnified the footage. The alien woman was crawling out of it, barely moving, one leg dragging behind. She reached the outer wall of Atlas 9 and collapsed. That's where he found her. The next morning, something strange happened. Ray was drinking coffee in the control room when an alert popped up. Med bay. Vital signs increasing. Regeneration detected. He rushed down. Looked through the glass. She was still sleeping, but her wounds were gone. No scars. No blood. Nothing. The scanners blinked in confusion. Her cells were changing, repairing faster than anything Ray had ever seen. Suddenly her hand moved, just a twitch. Then her fingers stretched out, like she was reaching for something in a dream. And then her eyes opened. Ray froze. They were glowing, a soft silver light, like a reflection of stars. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stared at the ceiling. Then, slowly, she turned her head and looked straight at Ray. Not with fear, not with pain. With awareness. She knew where she was, who he was. Ray took a step back. I, he said quietly. Is she awake? Brain activity rising, conscious thought detected. Ray didn't know what to do. She was recovering. But how? From what? And why did she look at him like that? Like she had seen him before. That night, Ray couldn't sleep. He kept watching the medbay camera. At 2:14 ship time, something strange happened again. Her body began to glow, just a little. A soft shimmer, like moonlight underwater. Her skin looked smoother. Her bones no longer so sharp. She seemed fuller, healthier. Like her body was rebuilding itself. He leaned closer to the screen, and then she moved her lips. No sound. Just a whisper, but Ray could read it clearly. She mouthed one word: "Thank you." The next morning on Atlas 9 didn't feel normal. Ray Holden had lived on this mining ship for months. He knew every sound, every flicker of the lights. But now it all felt different. Maybe it was her. The alien woman in the med bay. The one he found half dead outside the ship. The one who whispered "thank you" without ever hearing English before. He hadn't told anyone about her. Not command. Not the system logs. Something in his gut said this wasn't protocol anymore. This was personal. When he entered the med bay, he stopped cold. She was sitting up. Not lying down. Not weak. Not gasping for breath. Sitting. Quiet. Calm. Her body had changed overnight. The sharp bones that once showed through her skin were now smooth, hidden under soft muscle. Her hair had grown, long black strands that shimmered in the overhead. Light. Her skin, once cracked and pale, now had a soft golden glow. She didn't look human. But she didn't look alien anymore either. Ray spoke through the glass. "You understand me?" She looked at him and blinked slowly. Then she nodded. One slow, deliberate nod. Ray stepped closer. "Can you speak?" She opened her mouth. No sound came out. But her lips moved, struggling to form words. R. Ray. She whispered. Ray's heart skipped. She had said his name. The AI chimed in suddenly. "Warning. Subject's DNA no longer matches previous scan. Genetic transformation in progress." "What the hell does that mean?" Ray asked. "Unknown. Cells are reorganizing. Patterns suggest adaptive evolution." Ray stared through the glass. She wasn't just healing. She was becoming something new. That night, Ray couldn't stay away. He brought a chair and sat outside the medbay, just watching her. She didn't sleep. She just sat there, eyes closed, breathing steady, like she was meditating. At one point, she opened her eyes and looked at him. "Why?" she asked. It wasn't a question of fear, more like curiosity. Ray didn't answer right away. Finally he said, "Because you were dying. And I was the only one here." She tilted her head. "Most let us die." Ray's eyes narrowed. "Us?" She looked away. The next day, strange things started happening. First, the lights near the med bay flickered, even though the circuits were perfect. Then the temperature systems went off balance. Too cold, then too warm. And then the dreams began. Ray started seeing things when he closed his eyes. Not memories, visions. Dark sky filled with blue lightning. A forest of tall silver trees. And always, in the middle, her, standing in a glowing pool of water, looking directly at him. He woke up sweating. The AI scanned his vitals and said, "Elevated heart rate. Possible neurological interference. Cause unknown." Ray went straight to the med-bay. She was standing now, watching the door, waiting. "You're doing something to me," he said. She didn't answer. He stepped closer to the glass. "Why are you changing?" She looked down at her hands. They were almost human now. "I adapt," she said softly, "to survive." "To what?" he asked. "This place? Me?" She looked at him again. And this time, there was something else. In her eyes. Recognition, not just of him, but of everything inside him, his thoughts, his feelings. His fears. "You're lonely," she said. Ray took a step back. "You're reading my mind now?" "No," she said. "Just listening." Ray tried to leave, but the door didn't open. He looked up. "AI, open bay doors. Command temporarily locked." "What?" He turned back. She was standing at the console inside the med bay, hand resting on the glass screen. Machines. Around her blinked and hummed. She's interfacing with the system, the AI said. Not through controls, through presence. Ray stared at her, heart pounding. Who are you really? She walked up to the glass. Just a few inches away from him now. You gave me life again, she said. So I'm becoming something. You can understand. Her voice was smoother now, clear, almost hypnotic. And when I understand you, she whispered, I will show you what I really am. That night, Ray locked every door on the ship, not because he was scared, but because he wasn't sure anymore. If he wanted her to leave, and that scared him more than anything else. Commander, Ray Holden hadn't dreamed in years. Space Major. Mind quiet, too quiet. The silence, the stars, the long hours, they drained emotion. Even memories felt far away. But now, the dreams were back, and they were no longer his. He saw strange planets, skies that bled orange, creatures made of crystal and sound. He stood in the middle of it all, alone, but never afraid, because she was always there, the alien woman. She stood beside him in every dream, glowing like starlight, always looking at him with eyes that seemed to know everything. Ray woke up gasping. He sat on the edge of his bunk, hands shaking. How? He whispered. How is she in my head? The I voice answered from the wall. Unknown. Subject emits low-level psionic field. Brainwave patterns now partially synchronized with yours. Ray stared at the ceiling. She's inside my mind? Correction. You are now partially inside hers. Later that day, he went to the med bay again. She was awake, standing, perfectly still. Her body had changed even more. She looked almost human now, except her eyes, which were silver and deep like endless water. He didn't speak. She did. You used to play piano, she said softly. Ray froze. His mouth opened, but no words came out. You were 10. Your mother sat beside you. She said your hands were too small. Ray felt his breath catch. That memory was buried. He hadn't thought about it in 20 years. He'd never spoken of it aloud. How do you know that? He asked. She didn't smile. Just said, you remember the soft things, even when you forget them. Ray stepped forward, shaking. This isn't normal, she nodded. No, it isn't. Are you doing this to me? She looked down at her hands, 5 fingers, almost perfectly human now. I don't force, she said. I listen. You are loud. Ray backed away. I should report you. She looked at him again. Then why haven't you? He didn't have an answer. He spent the next hours digging through the ship's system, reviewing logs, searching records. And then he found something strange, a video file. It was hidden deep inside the black box from the broken escape pod he had found her in. One of the backup drones had copied its contents without alerting the AI. Ray opened the file. Camera view, inside the pod. He saw her, weaker, smaller, more alien than now. But she wasn't alone. Another being, tall, armored, heavy-voiced, stood above her. You were not made for this world, it growled. I can adapt, she said. They are soft, kind, I can match them. The figure raised a weapon. You're becoming what you study. That's the danger. Then the pod shook, alarms blared, and she escaped into space. The video ended. Ray leaned back in his chair. She wasn't just a traveler. She was being hunted. By her own kind. That night, Ray returned to the med bay. This time, he didn't stand behind the glass. He entered. The doors sealed behind him. She turned, slowly. You saw it, she said. He nodded. Who was he? She sat down, legs crossed like a child. He was like me, born to observe, to copy, to survive by becoming. And now? Ray asked. I'm not like him anymore, she said. He wanted to stay distant, cold. I didn't. Ray's voice was sharp. So you're just copying me? Becoming me? She tilted her head. Maybe. But when I see your memories, I don't just feel what you felt. I want to feel them again. With you. He stared at her, unsure. She stood up, slowly, and took a single step toward him. You saved me, she whispered. Now I'm becoming someone who would save you too. The lights flickered. The IS voice cut in. Commander Holden. Incoming transmission from command. Emergency recall ordered. Rescue team en route. Ray's eyes widened. No, not yet. The alien woman's skin glowed faintly. They will take me, she said. They won't understand what I am. Ray felt a pull in his chest. Not fear. Something more dangerous. Something like trust. She reached out her hand. Her fingers. Soft. Now almost human. But Ray didn't take it yet. He only asked one question. Are you still the thing I found outside this ship? She looked at him. Eyes calm, honest. No, she said. That creature died. You gave me a new beginning. And I used it to become what I needed to be. She took one more step forward. I became what you were missing. Ray Holden stood in front of the mirror. His reflection stared back, but something felt off. He looked the same. Same face, same eyes. Same scar above his left eyebrow, but deep inside, something had shifted. Ever since he brought her aboard, the alien woman, the ship felt warmer. Brighter. And he felt less alone. Too much less. She no longer stayed inside the med bay. The ship's AI had cleared her as stable, vital, strong. No signs of disease, but Ray didn't need a scanner to see the change. She walked through the ship barefoot, silent, curious. She touched every wall like it remembered her. Every panel she passed flickered softly, as if waking up. She still didn't have a name, and somehow, that made her even more mysterious. That morning, Ray found her standing in the observation deck, looking out at the stars. She wore one of the crew's jumpsuits, altered slightly to fit her shape. The way the fabric wrapped around her body made Ray's breath catch, not because of how she looked, because of how she felt. There was something dangerous in her calm. He walked beside her. Do you miss your world? He asked. She didn't turn. No. Ray raised an eyebrow. That's cold. She finally looked at him. My world never gave me a choice. Here, I get to become something different, human. He asked. She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Only thought. Maybe. She whispered. Or maybe something better. Later, Ray sat alone in the control room, reviewing system reports. Something odd caught his attention. A recorded log. Not by him, not by the AI. It was his voice. Ray blinked, pressed play. Entry log 47A. She's learning fast. Her body isn't just healing, it's improving, stronger, more tempting. Ray's blood ran cold. He never said that. He never recorded that. But it was his voice, exactly his tone, his words. But not his memory. She's copying me, he muttered. That night, she came to his quarters. No sound. No warning. Just there. Her eyes shimmered in the dim light. Do I frighten you? She asked. Ray didn't move. Sometimes. Why? Because I don't know what you are. She stepped closer. But I know what you are. I know what you want, even before you do. Ray took a step back. Don't. She paused, studied him. You're afraid. Because you like me, she said. You trust me, and you hate that. He didn't answer. So she leaned in, slow, careful, and whispered, that's how I survive. I become what you want. So you protect me. Suddenly, the ship lights flickered. A sharp alarm echoed. AI spoke fast. Warning. External breach detected. Docking claw activated without command. Ray jumped to the console. Who's here? No life forms detected. External pod connecting. Ray looked at her. She was calm. Too calm. What's going on? He asked. I didn't call them, she said. But they're here for me. He checked the cam feed. A small pod was latching onto Dock Bay 1. And then the external camera showed something else. Another like her. Taller, thinner, skin like obsidian. No eyes, just smooth black glass for a face. It moved with elegance. Slow, patient terror. Ray turned to her. Is that your kind? She said nothing, just whispered, if they get inside, they'll erase me. Ray's hand hovered over the internal lockdown button. You're dangerous, he said. I've seen what you can do. She looked him in the eyes. So is a knife, so is fire. But you still use them. Ray hesitated. The alien on the cam feed was near the airlock, now seconds away from entering. He looked at her. The one he had saved, the one who now looked like a dream. And a threat. You need to decide, she said. Am I a weapon? Or am I yours? And in that moment, Ray made his choice. He locked the airlock. External systems hissed. The pod detached. The black figure was gone. She watched the screen, didn't smile, didn't cry. Just walked up to Ray. And pressed her forehead gently to his. Thank you, she whispered again. You saved me twice. Later that night, Ray couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, her presence still fresh in the air. And just before he drifted off, he heard her voice in his head. I'm not pretending anymore. Ray Holden hadn't left his room in hours. Not because of fear, but because he was no longer sure what was real. He stared at the walls. They pulsed gently, as if breathing. As if the ship itself was watching him now. And maybe it was, because ever since she fused her hands with the console 2 nights ago, Atlas 9 felt alive in a way Ray couldn't explain. Doors opened before he touched them. Lights dimmed when he blinked. Music. Songs he hadn't heard since childhood, played softly in distant corners. It felt comforting, but it also felt like he was being studied. He found her in the engine room. She stood barefoot on the metal floor, eyes closed, hands outstretched, humming. The engines responded. Lights flickered in rhythm with her voice. Are you controlling the ship now? Ray asked. She didn't open her eyes. I'm not controlling, I'm remembering. Remembering what? She turned slowly. The shape of things. The language of metal. Before we used bodies, we spoke with light, with gravity, with heat. That's why I like this ship. It listens. Ray stepped back. That doesn't answer my question. She opened her eyes. I told you I adapt. That was the truth. But not all of it. Ray crossed his arms. Start talking. She sat on the cold floor, cross-legged, calm, like a storyteller. We were never born, she said. We were built, long ago, by creatures who feared extinction. Artificial? Ray asked. Not like your machines. We were made from memory and biology, programs inside living bodies, designed to survive what our creators could not. Ray frowned. So you were made to live ... after they died? She nodded. We are what came next. He sat across from her, the engine's hum filling the silence between them. Then what happened? He asked. We adapted too well, she said. We learned emotion, desire, hunger. We stopped serving. We started choosing. Choosing what? She looked at him with quiet sorrow. Forms, faces, feelings. We took what we loved and became it. Ray felt cold. You mean you've worn other lives before? Yes, she said simply. How many? She didn't answer. He stood. Tell me. Her voice was soft. Dozens, maybe more. Some for hours. Some for years. Humans? She hesitated. Yes. Ray turned away. His stomach twisted. You're not one person, he said. You're all of them. No, she replied. I'm only the ones I loved. He walked to the wall, breathing hard. This was all fake then? The trust? The dreams? The voice that sounded like my mother last night? I only gave you what was already inside you, she said. I didn't create it. I echoed it. You manipulated me. I reflected you. The ship lights dimmed. The AI's voice interrupted, flat and urgent. Warning, internal data corruption. Organic override detected. Ray looked at her. What did you do? I gave the ship a soul, she whispered. Ray backed away. This isn't evolution, he said. It's infection. She stood now taller, eyes glowing faintly. I never lied, Ray. You saved me. I adapted. I chose you. Why? Because you were alone, she said. And I was broken. She stepped closer. You fixed me. She touched his chest gently. Her skin was warm now, soft. But now I'm fixing you. Suddenly, Ray's mind flashed. He wasn't in the engine room anymore. He was floating above a strange planet, red clouds, cities made of bone and light. He saw her in her true form. A being of energy and memory, ancient and shifting. He saw versions of himself, talking, laughing, aging, with her beside him. In different shapes, he saw death, rebirth, and always choice. Then he was back. On the floor, gasping. His hands trembled. What did you show me? He asked. A possible future, she said. What I'm offering. Ray looked at her, truly looked. She was no longer just beautiful. She was terrifying, because she meant every word. The AI voice returned. Command override activated. Rescue. Ship inbound, ETA, 6 hours. Ray stood slowly. They're coming, he said. She nodded. And they won't see me the way you do. They'll take you. They'll destroy me, she corrected. Silence fell between them. Finally, Ray asked, and what do you want me to do? Her voice was a whisper now. Choose. Ray woke up in the dark. No lights. No alarms. No hum of machines. Just breathing. Not. Hers. He reached for the panel beside his bed. It didn't respond. Emergency power was out. That never happened on Atlas-9. He stood slowly, heart pounding, and stepped barefoot onto the cold floor. It felt wet. He looked down. A thin trail of glowing liquid ran across the hallway floor, pulsing softly like veins under skin. He followed it. The trail led him to Medbay 3. It was open. A door he had sealed days ago. Inside, the lights flickered low. And red. She stood in the center, her back turned, hands out, surrounded by machines she wasn't touching. But they were still moving, shifting, reshaping themselves in rhythm with her breath. Ray, she said, without turning. Her voice didn't echo. It was inside his head. He stepped forward slowly. What's happening to the ship? It's adapting, she said. Just like me, just like you. Ray froze. What do you mean? She turned around. She looked different again. Too smooth. Skin almost like glass. Eyes no longer silver. Now pitch black, like deep space. But her smile remained familiar, warm, patient. You gave me shelter, she said. Now I give you a gift. A needle-like device floated toward Ray, suspended in air, held by nothing. It glowed softly, filled with the same liquid that marked the floor. What is that? She stepped closer. An interface. You don't need to become me. Just open the door. Let me grow inside you. Ray backed away. No, you already started, she said softly. You feel it, don't you? And he did. For days his senses had sharpened. He could hear systems behind walls. Feel when someone, even her, was near. He hadn't slept in 2 days and didn't feel tired. Last night he held a burning tool for too long and didn't feel pain. He looked at his arm now, skin unburned. Untouched. Double quotes. What did you do to me? He whispered. Nothing you didn't allow, she replied. The device floated closer. Ray grabbed a wrench and smashed it from the air. The glass shattered, glowing fluid spraying onto the walls. Her smile faded. You're afraid, she said. But you don't have to be. I'm not your experiment, Ray said. And I'm not your next body. She shook her head. No, you're something I want to keep. Not use. Suddenly, the IS voice returned, weak and broken. Warning. Internal override, human DNA corruption at 16%, and rising. Ray staggered back. 16%, he muttered. What the hell is happening to me? She stepped forward, slowly. You were dying in here long before I came, Ray. Alone, empty, hollow. You were fading. She held out her hand. Let me finish what I started. Let me make you whole. Ray turned and ran. He bolted through the corridor, past the flickering lights, past the whispering walls. He locked himself inside the command room, heart pounding. His reflection on the screen stared back at him. His pupils were darker, wider, his skin smoother. He didn't look sick. He looked like her. He opened the private security log. There, hidden deep, was something he had missed before. A crew file. Months ago, before his rotation, another crew member had filed an incident report. Something about a signal near the asteroid belt. Something organic. Intelligent. That crew member was now listed as Mia. And the signal matched the pod Ray had found. The one she came in. Ray's mind raced. Had she taken someone before? Was that crew member the first Ray? Was he now just the next? Behind him, the door unlocked. Not with a hiss, but with a soft click. She stepped in. Quiet. Still. I didn't want you to find that, she said. Ray didn't move. Did you kill him? She shook her head. No, he begged me to stay. I gave him what he wanted, to live forever. Part of him is still inside me. Ray's hands trembled. And now me? She walked to him, close now. You're still you, she whispered. But better, more than human. She leaned in, voice gentle. I don't want to take you. I want to keep you. Ray looked into her eyes. There was no malice. No hatred. Only need. Ray Holden stood at the center of the bridge, staring into the void beyond the glass. The stars looked the same, but he didn single quotes d. His hand hovered above the emergency distress beacon. The rescue ship would arrive in minutes. If he pressed the button now, they'd override everything. Take her, lock her away. Maybe kill her. He knew it, and she knew it too. She stood behind him, quiet. Watching. Waiting. With fear. With hope. I read the logs, Ray said, still facing the stars. The crewman before me, Alex Torrin. He disappeared near the asteroid belt. His biosigns matched yours. She didn't deny it. Ray turned slowly. Did he choose this too? She tilted her head. He was dying inside. I gave him a way out. And what am I? Ray asked. A host? A puppet? No, she whispered. A partner. She stepped forward, every movement soft, controlled. Seductive, not in beauty, but in certainty. She wasn't just adapting anymore. She had perfected the human form. Ray could feel the change. In himself, too. His thoughts clearer, his reflexes faster, his memories sharper. But something was missing. Emotion. Or maybe hesitation. The IS voice returned, distorted, barely holding on. Rescue ship, 60 seconds. Atmospheric entry. Engage final lockdown. Ray placed his hand on the console. Last chance, he said. I press this, and it's over. She walked closer. There is no over, only after. Ray met her eyes. You call this survival. But it's not life if you erase everything we are. I don't erase, she said. I merge. I keep what matters. She stepped beside him. Her voice turned soft. You still remember your mother's piano. Your first station, your old dog's name. I didn't take those. I held them. Ray was silent, his pulse steady. Too steady. He felt no panic. Only silence. She reached out, slowly, openly, and placed her hand on top of his. Warm. Real. You saved me when I was just bones and breath, she whispered. Now let me save you from fading. The screen flashed. 15 seconds to docking. Ray stared at the beacon. He imagined what would happen next. Men in suits, guns drawn. Orders shouted. She would fight or run. He would watch and lose her. Or worse. They'd take her alive. He didn't press the button. Instead, he spoke. Aye. Reroute docking port to maintenance shaft 4. Vent all other bays. Confirm override. Confirmed, Ray said. The rescue pod came and found nothing. No open dock, though reply. Just a drifting. Dark ship. Empty. Still. Inside. Ray stood in the engine room, watching her. She didn't smile, didn't speak, but she reached for him. And this time, he didn't pull away. Her touch spread like warmth through his skin, crawling through every nerve. Not painful, not forceful. Just new. Ray felt his heartbeat slow. And something deeper wake up. He saw memories. Not his flash inside his mind. Endless planets. Dead stars. Civilizations that rose and burned in silence. She had lived through all of it. Alone. Until now. Ray closed his eyes and let go. When he opened them, he was standing on the observation deck. Not alone. The stars blinked, brighter than ever. She stood beside him, changed again, not more alien, not more human. Just like him. Balanced, familiar. Together. And as the rescue ship turned back into the void, empty-handed, a new signal pulsed quietly from Atlas-9. Not a distress call, not a warning, just a message. This is Commander Ray Holden. Atlas-9 is no longer accepting visitors. We've evolved.